Yo, you're right, it's Tommy Allen here, and this is the fourth video on how to integrate Wise Reflect inside Unreal Engine 5. In the previous video, what we did was go through the surface reflectors, light, verb, and room, and see what they all did individually. And today we're gonna actually connect two of these reverb volumes with a portal and see if it's all working and how we can do that. So let's dive straight into it. So here's our situation. We've got our gun inside a audio or a spatial audio volume with everything turned on, and our dog barking outside. So let's just hear that situation. So walk in the box. Excellent. When we come out the room, it turns straight off. Excellent. So everything's working fine. Okay, so let's, in theory, or in my head, this is kind of like a big church, big reverby church. And let's just copy, paste those settings over into another little smaller room. So kind of what we've got is a church with a tiny little box room next to it. Okay, so I'm just going to line these up. Easy. And let's just put this, I'm going to change the late verb to a short reverb. Okay, so when we go in and out the rooms, we should hear the difference between the reverbs. Let's just test that. So, mega reverb going on. Much shorter. Okay, easy. So set up like it's meant to be. And but nothing's coming through from room to room. That's not what we really want, is it? Okay, so let's put in a doorway. The way we do this is add, and we're going to add in AK portal. What we need to do, currently, it's actually in the right place almost. Ooh, let's drag it along here, but it's still red. What you need to do is always have it along the Y-axis. So if we rotate it round, it turns yellow, the portal's going to work. Excellent. So if we come along like that, okay, we got quite a nice big portal going on. And yeah, let's see how this sounds, and it should work perfectly. So as we go in, it sounds like it should. We come through the portal. We can still hear the reverb from the big church room actually kind of come in to our short reverb room. And as you can see, the dog bark was getting reverberated by the short reverb and then coming through into and getting the short reverb signal was exciting the long reverb signal. Now that sounds a bit hubbly jubbly. So, and when there's a big game going on and lots of things you got to listen to, you want a visual representation of, to make sure it's sounding right. So here, if you press F11 and actually connect your game up, I just did that before, and we play it a little bit, we can actually see in our voice profiler what is actually going on. So if I walk in here, so play the dog noise. So, with the voice profiler, when we're pressing F11, we get the dog bark. That's when we're in the room. Then we enter the bigger room eventually, and you can see the Wise Reflect excites the short reverb, which then excites the long reverb, and it actually starts sounding quite good. You can kind of set the maximum amount of reverbs or aux buses it can go through, if you don't want it to absolutely kill your engine. But yeah, so that's the way it works, and this is a good way for checking that everything's working fine. So I played a gun, I think at some point. Where is it? Ooh. Yeah, just making sure the gun was routed correctly. So play laser weapon. Okay, that was routed straight through the long reverb, which is correct for the situation. This is a really good way to check your physical work. I think if you press F12 as well and you zoom out, what you can also see is your actual boxes. So when you press F12, you're in your object profiler, and here you can start to see your reflections. This little button up here, so I just click this button and another box came onto my other screen. You get this box here, and you can see, exactly what's happening. So I can get rid of the attenuation radiuses, and you can start to see what's actually happening. To show visual voices, you can see the reflections. You can see where our rooms are coinciding. Which is pretty cool. So we can display the rays. You can see our portal. So you can actually see where we walk about, our little player, which if you've not seen that before, that's really cool to use. So we like start outside the box over here. We're walking. We're inside. Okay, and then we can actually match that up in our voice profiler of how that should sound. Okay, dog barking, and that's how it should sound in the situation. So that's just a really handy way to see what's going on. Okay, so that's how we set up two little rooms together. Now, this is a debug, or this is a case where it doesn't work. So I'm going to get rid of this. Goodbye. So this is a case that doesn't work. Okay, and I'm going to start my player quite near the box, save as walking, and big screen. So this situation doesn't work. So this is going to be a workaround, and I'm going to show you because you probably will fall into this problem. And so when I press play, we've got our dog bark in the short reverb. It works perfectly. Okay, but when we place our dog outside, outside this room, when it's got no audio volume attached to it, okay, it doesn't seem to want to work in this current version of Wise. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the voice profiler. You're going to hear it anyway. So let me just reconnect. Come on, connect. And when I play, this has no volume. And there's no short reverb being played, so the sound isn't coming through the portal and resonating the room, which is kind of what you want inside a game. And inside our voice profiler, we can check that it's got Wise Reflect and just some, attenuation. That's it. That's not what we want. Okay, so now this is the workaround. Okay, lovely little workaround. So what we can do is I'm going to go back to Wise actually first and press F5, and I've made an outside door reverb bus. Okay, made it up the exact same way as the others. Use game defined aux sense positioning, all the same, basically copied and pasted or the reverbs we've made before. And in effects, I put on the have you ever been outside, and I kind of turned down all the pre-delay and things like that, so it sounds like you're outside. And then I get my previous reverb, and I'm going to make this absolutely massive. So you put it like the size of your game area, whatever, and then on the late verb, we want to change that down to outdoor reverb or outside reverb we made, and now it should actually work. Oh, we're actually hearing some extra reflections. So if I turn off surface reflectors, it should actually sound a bit more real. We'll turn off. We need room enabled. Okay, room does need to be enabled because if room isn't enabled, it starts to mess things up. This also needs to be a lower priority as well. So the big room outside needs to be ever so slightly lower priority, and now it should all work fine. Actually, no. So actually in my current setting, hold on, I'm just going to change it. Decay time, the reflections, age of damping, density down, because I'm getting a bit of doubling up on everything. Output levels dry. Actually, I'm gonna keep it down there. Excellent. So hopefully this should now work. Okay, so if I just go to build, generate sound data, ding. Oh, authoring's on. I gotta edit this video down, I think. There we go. Sorry for that. Now, so now it's all working together. So what I did there was I turned down the kind of all the main effects of the reverb. So it's like there is 0 sound, and turned up the dry signal. And so what it's now doing is actually routing it the correct way we want. And I found you just make an absolutely massive cube for the generic area and put on an almost dry reverb sound. And we can check that it works. Again, if we go into the profiler, we can reconnect. If I go into F11, we run the game. So it's working perfect, or you can even hear it. But to test, as you can see, it's running from reflect outside to short reverb. And when we come out of the room, it's just outside reverb. And that is the workaround that I found that works. So I hope that helps. So as you can see, that setup, I just go through it. You need a room. You need to lower the priority, lower than everything else. And then you want to turn off surface reflection, so you're not getting these ridiculous dink like coming off or anything like that. And turn your late reverb to a reverb that is dry. And then it should signal the audio correctly. So that is it. That's getting 2 rooms together and having a solo room connecting, all working together. So I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next one.